Okay, well, made a bunch of progress in here. So you can see that I wired the main wiring harness. The only thing I don't have is my turn signal switch, which I've ordered. It should come on Friday. Today is Monday, I guess. But I have a bunch of this wired up. I have, okay, but that's my front headlights are, so I have this coming down, going down to my master cylinder, which I have to replace. That's coming today. I have my horn coming into here, and I also wired this one coming into here. And this is how I set it up, with a little round thing going on one of the bolts. And I tested this, and it is grounded, so that's good. I have my turn signal coming through with a grommet, in my front right headlight. I've wired up my ignition and my windshield wiper switch and my headlight switch. I still have to put in the windshield wiper mechanism. And if you look back around here, I'm preparing for the motor to go in. So what I've done so far is I've wired up my license plate light. Comes down like this. I've wired up these guys and zip tied them all, put it through. I wired up my starter motor with, there's 3 wires. There's a ignition wire going to the solenoid switch. There's then the battery wire, and then there's another red wire that comes across to here. Now I'm attempting to put my voltage regulator right here, and I'm not sure how well that's going to clear my, basically my left-hand intake manifold here, because that's going to sit like right about here. So, it's going to be in the way of some stuff, Also, I can't have something like this flopping around and hitting the 12 volts, because that's a gas line. So, whether there's a smart place for it or not, I'm not sure. But that's where I've got it for right now. And the other thing is I recovered this from the, this is a horn, and I'm cleaning it up. This front part had some paint on it, it looks like, but it rusted. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tape off this front metal part, and I'm going to just paint rust reformer just on the front part here where the paint was. So let's see how that looks. The other revelation I have had is with the dual carbs. The only way that I'm going to be able to get this motor up through here, given the width of this, is to basically take off the dual carbs. And what I've decided to do is to do that at the intake manifolds here, because then I've got 2 bolts here. These are these exhaust types with the flange, and I rigged up a little 12mm where I actually cut off, but I didn't cut it off, but you can see how I ground down the sides here. The reason why I ground down the side is because if you look at the clearance on this, there's basically no space between there and there, but look here, this thing is whittled down so that actually I can fit it right in there, and it's still just strong enough to be able to turn that. So, whether I need to even cut this off and have a shorty version of this, once I get this in here, somehow I'm going to have to reach my arm around like this and be able to tighten that up. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to reach it, but people seem to do it. So what I'm going to try to do today is work on getting this motor into this Beetle. And so I got to get it off the stand, take off this, which is the ring, and I've got to install my take off my fuel line here for the time being. Get this back tin with my grommet, and then I have to get my rolly throttle cable tube through here. It's a pain in the ass to take off these carbs because that messes up my whole situation with the linkage. So you know I'm gonna have to get the linkage back connected up, but I think as long as I don't touch the you know, these are all tightened down and everything, so I can probably, you know, I'll disconnect, I guess I'll disconnect these AN lines here, make sure there's no gas dripping all over the place, get the carbs out, the linkage out, try to get that motor up in here, and the 4 bolts. Again, I clearanced that bell housing, and I'm not 100% sure everything's going to clear, but that's the best guess that I can make so far. And then, depending on whether this location works for the voltage regulator, I'll trim this cable, because basically this red wire has to go right down onto the other side of this, and this blue wire goes somewhere, I don't know. So these things are going to connect, and then from the voltage regulator it's going to come back up to my generator. So I got to look and see exactly how that's wired, but I probably have to trim those wires. So I'm waiting for I think it's only like 7:30 a.m. or something like that, so I am waiting for the to get a little bit later, so I can take this horn and attach it to a battery and just see if it still works. So I'll do that in just a sec, as soon as it lightens up a little bit here. Foggy. All right, so I got my screws in here, and I attached my horn. This is the ground wire. So now, and I clean this up here with a little bit of a wire brush. You can see there's still an issue, you know, a little bit of a stuff here, but overall, so if you look here, when I press it, you leave a little bit of play on these screws, and then when you press the side, you can look right there, it should be grounding out the horn. You can see down there, if I press this, you get some separation here there with the spring. So that's good. I have this one. It's not great. It's a little fogged on the inside, but you know, just to, I'm still, you know, working on stuff. So I'll probably will have to take this off, but overall, I think it looks good. And steering wheel works. That's how much room I have in between the steering wheel and the steering column tube, and I have a turn signal switch on the way. Should come by the end of the week. So next thing, I'm going to try this horn. So let's take a look. So the horn, well, it's still drying just a little bit there on the bottom, and I'll take this upstairs and see if it works. The other thing I have to do, so I don't have a mounting plate for the horn, and the horn goes under here, and I plugged all of the holes, and so what I need here is just a little, I think it used to go right there, and what I need is a little plate that basically I'll take this, I'm going to bend it at about a 90-degree angle, and I'll have two mount screws here, and then it'll come out about the width of this horn, and then this bottom screw, there will be one screw that this can go into, and then this is going to wind up mounting right here facing frontwards like that, and then the two mounting bolts are going to come through here, and somewhere here, probably somewhere around here, the two mounting bolts will come through, and I'll go ahead and tighten those down, and after I ensure that this horn actually works. All right, officially this horn does not work, so I will have to get another one. That's unfortunate. I thought that I might be able to get that to work. Today I have a new master cylinder coming. This master cylinder, it was leaking out the front, it had no pressure. So I just took it out. The sensor might be okay. I ordered a new sensor anyway that looks cheaper than this one, but I took this off, and I went ahead and undid everything in here, and I'm gonna put the new master cylinder in. Hopefully I can do the brakes and bleed them and get everything working correctly. In here I kind of cleaned up around where the master cylinder was. I can do the wiring now of this guy as well, so I just have to figure out, I believe the middle is the power, and the left and the right, it doesn't matter which one you do as far as high and low, but high on the right. So I'm gonna just look and see which ones are which, and I'll wire that up, and then I have to find some screws that'll fit that. All right, so according to this, it says floor dimmer switch. 56 is white black, so that's the middle one. And then A and B, white and yellow, that doesn't really matter, that's high and low beams, but it just toggles. So really the only important thing is that I get white black to the middle. So, looking at these wires here, I have white black has to go to the middle, so it doesn't quite fit. So why not? I gotta pull it. Oh, I pulled the grommet through. Now that sucks. Okay, so let me see what I can do up here to get a little more wire. Yeah, there's definitely is some more wire here, so let's see what I can do. So I gotta get this grommet back through and have this basically I got two steps here. One is attach the wires here. So I got black and white going to the middle. We'll go with yellow on the right. We'll go with white on the right. We'll go with yellow on the left. Let's see if I can get that. I can actually probably pull the wire slightly back up, but maybe then if I have a little extra, it can sit either under the... I gotta find out how this goes relative to the carpet and everything, but that's all through. That looks good. Now I just have to get that grommet back in from the other side. Okay, so then I just have